actions definitely saved that kid's life.
I just feel like what I did was natural and what you're supposed to do.
Either you stay there and help or you run away.
And it's just like, wow, a fifth grader changed the course of our family potentially.
We were blessed enough and lucky enough that we went through this incident and everyone's fine. Everyone's healthy and we can move forward with our lives. Not everyone's that lucky.
I'm hardwired to help people, so I'm glad that I could.
You know, you just don't know when your day is going to change. You don't know when there's going to be an emergency.
It wasn't really so much heroism as it was just being a good human, being a good neighbor, and working together as a team.
Whatever we can do to lend a hand to support our fellow human beings is where we should all be.
People are inherently good, and given the right moments, they'll show you.
One of my favorite parts of being in the Red Cross is the Heroes Banquet, because you do get to acknowledge those people that just, have done something amazing.
It's hard to define a hero. I think we all are a little heroic in our own way. There are a lot of heroes in the world, and as we say, they don't all wear capes, they don't all wear badges, they don't all directly save lives.
A hero really is that person that goes beyond themselves in that moment. So we get to celebrate and honor them.
I think the public needs to be aware that we live among these people that are amazing people and true heroes.
I'm so blessed to be alive. I really am.
I mean, it makes me feel proud that a 6-year-old kid wants to help out people that he hardly knows.
Our dog Brody barked, and honestly, that's probably what saved them.
It's a bond that'll be there for a long time.
I know if I wasn't around that day, the outcome would have been a lot different.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for our Everyday Heroes event. I'm Pammy Erickson, Executive Director for the American Red Cross of Eastern Iowa Chapter.
And I am Dean Wilgenbush, Board Chair of the Eastern Iowa Chapter in Dubuque. On behalf of the American Red Cross Board of Directors in Dubuque and in Cedar Rapids, and our community leaders in Dubuque, Burlington, and Cedar Valley, I thank you for joining us at our 18th annual Everyday Heroes event. We are here this morning to recognize Everyday Heroes of Eastern Iowa. These outstanding individuals have demonstrated courage, compassion, and unselfish character by performing extraordinary acts in the eyes of their neighbors and the community, as well as exemplify the Red Cross mission.
Today's event would not be possible without the support of our sponsors and donors. You will see them listed on your screen throughout the program. We thank all of them for their important contributions that make our mission possible. Along with the generosity of our donors, the American Red Cross relies on the time and talent of our volunteers. Our volunteers respond to disasters 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. In fact, Iowa is known for its volunteers that answer the call to help when disaster strikes, locally and across the United States. They truly are the heartbeat of our organization.
The height of the obstacle does not deter a hero. To a hero, failure is not acting when others are in need. She climbs, determined to overcome what others see as unbeatable odds. He serves a warm meal, cares for the sick and injured, throwing a lifeline and giving hope without pausing to weigh the personal risks and consequences. A hero rarely seeks recognition, jumping into the fray, lending a compassionate hand, building a better community, comforting those in crisis. You may not consider yourself a hero, but the Red Cross leaders you choose to walk alongside and the people whose lives are uplifted will. The Red Cross is an army of heroes, an army that needs you.
And now for the recognition of our everyday heroes, the reason that we are here today. These individuals represent the best in us, their compassion, generosity, selflessness, and courage that you're about to see will hopefully inspire everyone. It is my pleasure to recognize our MC for this event. Welcome Ron Steele from News 7 KWWL. We are thrilled you could join us today.
Well, hi everyone. I am so happy to return for this year's Everyday Heroes of Eastern Iowa event. As you know, I have participated in this event for many, many years now, and I always enjoy the opportunity to recognize our amazing community members all across Eastern Iowa. Again, today it's a privilege to help recognize the outstanding individuals who have performed literally selfless and courageous acts which have made their communities a better place to live, work, and play. As certainly there are never any parameters to what makes someone an everyday hero. It's not just those superheroes that we see in the movies or on television, but really an individual who makes such a profound impression on someone else that their actions affect another person's life in a very, very significant way. On any day in the most extraordinary of circumstances, the everyday heroes emerge. And to help us capture the essence of these very, very special stories, the heroes have been interviewed already for this program and their stories put into videos by one of our sponsors, Happy Smith Productions. We're so fortunate to have them back again this year with their support, as well as many others who helped make this event come together today. And right now, Jennifer Hannaford of Dupaco Community Credit Union will present our first award.
Thanks, Ron. Dupaco Community Credit Union has been a longtime sponsor of Everyday Heroes and a supporter of the American Red Cross. It is my pleasure to announce our first Everyday Hero. Tina Mead, as the oldest of 14 children, grew up cooking and has a love of being in her kitchen. That passion has poured into nearly 15 years of work with Second Helpings, a group of volunteers serving meals to those in need in Manchester, Iowa, and beyond.
I was actually born and raised in the Manchester-Delhi area. I am the oldest of 14 children, so I learned at a very young age how to cook. My mother was busy with babies and milking cows, and so I was the cook, the cleaner, the bottle washer. So I kind of had to do it, most of it. That's kind of what I've done my whole life. I've went from nursing homes to care centers to now I work with Home Instead Senior Care for the elderly, and I love it.
If you ever said that you were too busy to help, you just have to look at Tina, who always finds that extra time to give.
15 years ago, we got a committee together that said we were noticing a lot of waste in Delaware County of food. So we started Second Helpings 15 years ago. Second Helpings is a program on Monday nights serving meals. We have a lot of families that are low income that can't afford to go out to eat. This is their going out to eat. They could come to our fellowship hall upstairs and sit and visit and socialize, because we do have several older people that come just to socialize. They live alone, they have nobody coming and going, so they do come here to socialize. And then at 4:30 we start serving meals, and we'd serve hot meals to them. Everything that came in for the food was either donated by either a wedding, a graduation, a funeral, a party somebody's having. They bring their leftover food to us. We reheat it up and redo it and mix it with what we have, and we usually have enough to feed 150 people.
When COVID hit, we had an opportunity for a grant through the Iowa Economic Development Authority. But right away it was down to where's the need in the county? Where do you think we need to best fit? And of course, Second Helpings was at the top of the list.
Before COVID, we were having about 180 people, 190 people come every Monday night. And now that COVID is, we're down to about 150 that come and get a carry-out. We have to do curbside. So it's very important that we get donations so that if we're making something, I have the money to go out and purchase what I need. Like tonight, it's meatloaf and potatoes, scalloped potatoes. So I was able to go out and get the hamburger and the potatoes to do this.
I couldn't even guess how many people she's served in Delaware County since this program began. Yeah, it almost brings tears to your eyes when you think about how many lives she's touched.
I don't feel myself as being a hero to anyone. I just do this because I love to do it. I came from a huge family that lived on a farm, So we had our own stuff, so we never went without food. And for me to see the other aspect of them going without was just heartbreaking for me. People shouldn't have to struggle to find something to put on their table.
Congratulations to Tina for being such a hero to families with food insecurities. You know, during 2020, staff and volunteers in the Eastern Iowa chapter responded to, get this, 211 home fires, a derecho that affected so many right here in Eastern Iowa, an explosion in Dubuque that we covered on KWWL, and answered the call to assist with hurricanes and wildfires all across the United States. These chapter volunteers put their compassion into action and work tirelessly all year long to assist individuals affected by disaster. Now presenting our second award today is Nate Stoll from Green State Credit Union. Nate?
Green State Credit Union supports the American Red Cross by providing funds to assist people that have been displaced from their homes because of a disaster. It is my pleasure to present our second Everyday Hero Award to Ben Cook. Ben was in the right place at the right time. He was driving a CAN bus route in Iowa City and something caught his eye. It was a woman sitting on top of a railing facing the river.
KWWL's Elena Kwan live in the newsroom this morning to tell us how one CAN bus driver was in the right place at the right time. Elena.
Good morning, Olivia and Daniel. It was a normal day for Ben Cook, and in case you don't know what a CAN bus driver is, it's mainly students who drive buses around the University of Iowa's campus, helping students getting to and from where they need to be. And Cook says he was just driving his daily route until he saw something he just could not ignore. As he was turning into the intersection on Burlington and Riverside, he saw a woman from the distance sitting on the rails of a bridge just located over the dam. The woman swaying back and forth. Cook says he knew this was an attempt at suicide, and after calling and waiting for police, he noticed the woman had gone from sitting to standing over the edge, and with no police to be seen, Cook says from there his instincts took over and he knew what he had to do.
Ran across the intersection, ran across the sidewalk of the bridge and just wrapped up on her and held her there until someone else was able to come join me. And then we pulled her on the other side of the railing.
Police arriving shortly after, Cook says he is grateful their paths aligned and could not imagine what would have happened if he weren't there. Growing up in a family who is active in mental health awareness, this was already something close to Cook's heart, and he's just glad that he was able to take action when it was needed most.
I think suicide is something that is a pretty touchy subject that we try to avoid. But ultimately, I think it comes down to just everyday humans to intervene when we can, and I was at the right place at the right time and had the ability to do something in the situation.
Cook says he has not received any updates of the woman's conditions, and we were there on the bridge yesterday, and just looking over, it was easily more than 15 feet high, and there was barely even an edge to stand on. So considering what the woman was holding onto, the situation could have easily escalated. And Cook says he is considering this a moment of perfect timing. And now moving forward, his heroic actions have now put CAN bus in the process of getting mental health resources to flash across the marquees of all their buses, just as an effort to push the message that help is out there.
You know, daily, many people struggle with mental health. For some, just waking up and living is the hardest battle of all on a daily basis. Oftentimes, a close friend or a family member is impacted, and it's always important to be there for them. Even if they're not out on the side of a bridge, that doesn't mean they are not in desperate need of help at that moment. Because, you know, it can only take a few seconds to act on a thought, and our thoughts can lead to life-changing actions to benefit someone else's life. You know, congratulations to Ben for your act of heroism. Presenting our third award now is Justin Mills from A.Y. McDonald.
The Red Cross offers a variety of classes: CPR, first aid, AED, and water safety, from online courses offered to individuals to on-site instruction at your place of employment. You never know when you may need these life-saving skills. It is my honor as an employee from A.Y. McDonald to present our next Everyday Hero Award to two heroes employed by the City of Dubuque, Bill Ganson and Joe Main. They put their CPR and AED training into action.
was a typical, normal day at the landfill. Guys were down putting trash and compacting, and we had a guy off, so I was in the excavator and haul truck hauling dirt.
The weather was decent and everything, and it was fairly busy, but nothing out of the ordinary. And
just got done loading a load of dirt and a hop from the excavator into the haul truck, and my phone rang, and it was Jim, our compactor operator. He says, "Hey, we got an unresponsive guy in Phil." He says, "Billy's doing CPR." He says, "We had one of the Allied guys on the phone with 911.
I went to him, kind of shook him to see if he was responsive, and he wasn't. And then Donnie asked me, do you know CPR? I said, yeah. So I started on him right away. Donnie was on the phone yet with dispatch, which he did really well on that, just staying calm.
So I hopped in the haul truck and flew up to the scale house where we keep our AED and grabbed that and rushed back down to the fill where the guy, when he had the actual heart attack, he had a trailer full of wood, and he had luckily fallen back on that.
I was doing chest compressions, and Jim got there after getting the defib, and then he kind of was checking for pulse and getting things rearranged because the poor gentleman was laying on boards and everything else. And
we got the AED and got it set up, and once it was on, I took over for Bill on CPR until the fire department showed up. And then they kind of came and did their thing and took over from there.
The training, thank God I did went through the class through the landfill through our training program.
Dubuque Fire Center and Dubuque Fire Department goes through all of our CPR and AED training, so they keep us up to date on that. So, if you have the opportunity, I highly suggest getting the training and being ready. Should it ever happen, whether it's to a stranger or a husband, wife, son, daughter. You may never need it, which we can all hope for, but if you do need it and you don't know what to do or how to act, it can make the difference in somebody's life.
Congratulations once again to everyday heroes Bill and Joe. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. The American Red Cross is responsible for more than 40% of the nation's entire blood supply. Red Cross biomedical staff has been working tirelessly this year, collecting life-saving blood.
COVID had a big impact on the biomedical services side of the Red Cross. It canceled a lot of blood drives where businesses were shut down, schools were closed, colleges were closed, people were a little hesitant to let us in. So those first few months were pretty tough with a lot of cancellations. Our services never stopped with blood collecting, rather if we were here at the center or out at a mobile operation. Elective procedures were down, people weren't traveling, so there weren't as many emergencies. So we were able to keep up with the blood demand that hospitals were having. The obstacles were finding the space. We've had a lot of local businesses here in Dubuque that have opened their doors to us. Churches have been great, Legion Halls, Knights of Columbus. Any place where they weren't currently operating something, they were likely to let us in because collecting blood is still important, and they answered our call, and we're very thankful for that. We had to adapt a lot of things. Of course, masks are required. We encourage donors to make appointments. We also are temperature checking donors as they come in the door. Our staff and volunteers have to check their temperatures as well. And just extra sanitizing of our beds, our equipment, tables, chairs between each donor, and then having hand sanitizer available at all stations. We're also testing for COVID-19 antibodies, and if they do have positive antibodies, we can use their plasma for a current coronavirus patient. Not all heroes wear capes. Sometimes they wear stethoscopes. Sometimes they go to work wearing masks every day, and that's exactly what our staff are doing. They are the wheelhouse behind making sure that patients in need get the blood that is needed for their emergency.
Congratulations to the American Red Cross biomedical staff for your ongoing commitment, especially during this time as we deal continuously with COVID-19. Well, today, what awesome, once again, impactful stories. Congratulations to all of today's honorees. You know, not every day is going to offer us a chance to save someone's life, but every day offers us quite an opportunity to make a positive impact.
A very special thank you to Ron Steele from KWWL for hosting our 18th annual Everyday Heroes event. And congratulations to our everyday heroes. The Red Cross is able to be there in times of need because of your generosity. We hope that you will consider supporting the Red Cross today. The inspiring stories you have heard today reflect the importance of the Red Cross in our daily lives. It is my sincere thank you to each of you for joining us. It is an honor and a privilege to serve as the Executive Director for the American Red Cross in Eastern Iowa, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.